All right, now I'm going to open up Autodesk SketchBook. I've used this quite a bit in the past. So as you see, I already had some other drawing up here that I was using. But we can go here to the File Manager and just click Save this sketch as and open up a new sketch. So this is our layers palette here. It's kind of docked along the side. And to add a photo, we just go up here to this little icon and then it will open up our gallery. Now this one allows you to sort of resize and change the drawing as you see fit. So I'm just going to bring it all the way to the edge here and click Done. And then you see it kind of goes all the way to the edge, but we have these like toolbars that kind of are interfering with the view. So I'm just going to like use my fingers to resize this whole thing. That's one thing that's really nice about Procreate is that it doesn't have a lot of toolbars over top of your work. They kind of disappear as you want them to. But adding layers is really easy in Sketchbook. So here you just click the add and then you can change the opacity. Here we can change the color of our tool, and I like to use this sort of color selector up here. To fill the layer, we need to use this paint bucket. So make sure you're on a new layer and then you can use the fill tool to fill it up. Now we can go back and change our opacity, and there we have our sort of trace paper layer over top of the drawing. Now let's add a new layer, and I'm going to grab this brown paper again because I want to have that sort of textured effect. We can move layers around by holding our pen or stylus down on the layer and dragging it down below the others. And then we have the ability to sort of hide or lock layers here just by tapping on these little icons. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I have a couple different layers here for drawing. One, of course, is going to be my line work layer, and the other will be for light. If we tap on the circle here above the color, you can see the different tools, and they have pretty much the same tools as in Procreate. So you're not going to be like losing out on anything if you just want to use the free version of Sketchbook instead of buying Procreate. So their tools are actually pretty good here, and I really enjoy drawing in both of these apps. So I just think for me, Procreate is a little less distracting. So, but functionally, I think that they both work pretty well. You can see here that, again, just like in Procreate, you can make different types of mark depending on the way you turn your utensil. So make sure you really test out some of these tools and give them a try. And note that you can change the size and the opacity of the tool. You can also do that along the side of this toolbar here. So it's kind of a little bit hidden, but there's these sliders here that where you can make your tool bigger, smaller, or more opaque or less opaque. One really great thing about Sketchbook is it has an undo button, which I haven't yet discovered in Procreate. I'm sure there is one, but I love undoing things in Sketchbook. It's a lot easier than erasing. So take some time to experiment with some of these tools. And again, just like in Procreate, if I'm going to make a color or a light kind of highlight layer, I like to make it on a new layer. So I can kind of move it around so that I can always make sure my line work is over top and the color part is at the bottom. So when I draw this sort of pinkish background, I can then select the layer and put it underneath my line work layer. And that way I just kind of keep a hierarchy of what's going on. So that's pretty much it for Sketchbook. And here is where we can start a new file. You'll always be asked to save, but you can also save your image here. So you can choose a folder, you can create a new folder, you can upload it online. So it's up to you how you want to use that.